All right, so welcome in, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Um, Pat, I did get your message. Pat was asking about when the online store is going to open. And so I've got exciting news. It's going to be very likely tomorrow. She said maybe even later today, but let's just say tomorrow to be safe. Because they're still like, they had to move everything from one part of the country to the other. And they're now in a new facility and it's just getting unpacked. So rather than me tell you today, I'll just tell you tomorrow because I think they're still unpacking. So if you want to get an order right away going, go ahead and go to support at drinfantino.com. And that's Debbie's email and she can get that started for you. But if you want to just go ahead and wait till tomorrow, see if the online store works. Anyways, wanted to give you some exciting news to look forward to.
Thank you, Tammy.
You are welcome. You are welcome. And that worked out just in time because I just saw the message and I'm like, I don't have time to message you. And then she walked by and so I asked her, hey, when's the store opening? So I got to have that answer for you guys. So that's awesome. Anyway, get started here. Does anybody have any shares or wins they want to share with me and the group? If you guys want to turn your cameras on, that would be great. I'd love to see your smiling faces. Otherwise, it's just one big black screen from the beginning. All right. All right. So this week we are talking about aging gracefully, and I'm going to tie it all together of what it has to do with weight loss and how the combination of the two are a winning hand, so to speak. So we've got some opening funnies and some shout outs. I'm going to go over, welcome in, welcome in. We got a bunch of people joining, so welcome. I'd love to see your smiling faces. So if you could turn your cameras on, that would be wonderful. I'm going to talk about how to crave the good stuff. My agenda and my intention is to basically give you guys different associations with foods. I know we're supposed to eat a lot of things that we don't always feel like eating. So today I'm going to go over some of the benefits of those foods, including anti-aging benefits. And so the idea is to transform how you think about the food and make you hopefully make you want it more and craving the good stuff. Some anti-aging stuff, looking better, better vision, better skin, healthy on the inside, healthy on the outside. I got an expert tips and a Q&A at the end. Our expert actually couldn't make it. Our expert is 86 years old, and she also happens to be my mother. And she's too busy. She's just busy running her life. She said, she goes, oh no, I can't make that today. I'm at the gym right now. And then I'm going out to lunch with my gang. She calls it her gang. She has a gang of, and they're, I think her dancing buddies. So at least I know what her tips are. So I will be able to share those with you. But anyway, I thought you'd get a kick out of that. All right, so we got some opening funnies here. Oh, we got a chat. Let me see. Oh, Marla, I'm sorry you're not feeling well, but I hope you feel better soon. Thank you for letting me know. All right, so we got some opening funnies and some shout outs here. Amy is down 30 pounds. So congratulations to you, Amy. Leah she's just doing so great. Her attitude is just right on point. She feels what she wrote in her journals. She said, I just feel like my future is bright. She has a newfound determination. She's feeling more motivated than she's ever felt and feeling accomplished. She's finally cooking for the first time in a really long time. And she's not mad at that. She's really excited. Her kids are even very excited about that. So congratulations to you, Leah. Christina is down 11 pounds, so congrats on that. Kathy is down 16 pounds. Actually, she's total 22, but she started with us and she's gotten another 16. But she has a much better mindset. She's label reading, she's looking for seed oils. So she's paying attention to these classes. She's really excited that she's fitting into her smaller clothes. Her blood sugars have regulated, and so have her liver enzymes. These are huge, huge markers, you guys. And it's all about just changing a lifestyle and incorporating some healthy things. Oh, thank you for turning your camera on. Hello. We got some more people in chat. Marla says her blood pressure has been restored to normal. Even being sick, she still had a really good blood pressure. So congratulations on that. That's awesome, Marla. Thank you for sharing. These two memes I just thought were cute and they had to do with aging. So I thought I'd throw those up there. All right. All right. So we all know taking good care of yourself. Oops. This thing is blocking me. Fix that. Taking good care of yourself will help you have a good quality of life, and that it's important, but where do you start? So today I'm going to go over a lot of different antioxidants. Antioxidants are a substance that inhibits oxidation in the body, which is used to counteract the deterioration of stored food products. So when we have free radicals, and I talked a little bit about this yesterday, free radicals are when these things come into our body, the toxins, the things that are not good for us, and they are missing an electron, so they're off balance, and they go around in the body and they bang, 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 they damage things. They cause the actual aging. And my analogy that I used was, imagine putting a pair of tennis shoes in a washing machine, and then when it hits the spin cycle, somehow the both tennis shoes, they get on one side of the tub or the barrel or whatever you call that. And so now the weight is only on one side versus if one was on one side and one was on the other. So as that washing machine spins, it's banging, 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 and it's causing damage to the inside of the washer, I'm sure, or maybe even the wall because the whole washing machine's going. So antioxidants are basically what combat that. They're the ones who give their extra electron, so it stops banging up against everything and causing that. Welcome in, everybody. So here's a list of antioxidants that I'm going to be going over today. We've got glutathione, which is nature's a massive antioxidant. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous for your liver. Carotenoids, which you can get from carrots or cantaloupe or papaya, any of your orange flesh vegetable. Astaxanthin, which is, you can only get it from wild caught salmon. You cannot get it from the farm raised salmon. And krill and shrimp. Curcumin comes from turmeric and curry. Resveratrol comes from grapes and blueberries and dark chocolate. Lycopene, which comes from tomatoes and watermelon. Tocopherols, which is basically a vitamin E, which comes from walnuts, almonds, hazelnuts, and eggs, particularly the egg yolk. Vitamins A, C, and E are also antioxidants, and beta carotene, which is basically another form of vitamin A, which you're going to find in your orange and yellow vegetables. So let's dig right in. All right, so I'm going to go through the vitamins. And so again, my agenda is so that you want your best choices. So we've got vitamin A. And what is vitamin A good for? It helps with skin conditions like acne or help prevention of wrinkles. Vitamin A, one of the forms of it is retin or retinol. We've spent a lot of money on retin products, but all you got to do is up your vitamin A food intake. You want to get your vitamin A through food. Just a really important way to do that. And also vitamin A is very, very, very good for our vision. And those of you like me who is aging, I'm seeing a difference in my eyes. And so it's really important that I want to, and I bought a bag of carrots yesterday after putting this all together. Like, okay, maybe that's it. That's it. Also, vitamin A is a very important part of the immune system. So that's good. And then again, it's an antioxidant, which again fights those free radicals that cause the aging. There's different forms of vitamin A. There's carotenoids, there's beta carotene, retinoids. These are all just different forms of vitamin A. Where can we get them? Sweet potatoes and yams, carrots, as I said, orange vegetables, kale, spinach, mustard greens, collard greens, winter squash. Those are usually yellow or orange. Romaine lettuce, bell peppers, cantaloupe, tomatoes, papaya, leeks, cabbage, grapefruit, and asparagus. So again, as we're eating all those things, just know they're loaded with vitamin A, and it's going to help you with beautiful skin and better vision and your immune system. All right, let's move on to vitamin B. There's all different kinds of vitamin Bs. I'm sure you guys are very well aware of that. There's riboflavin, thiamine, niacin, folate, folic acid, or folacin, B6, B12, biotin. Biotin's the one that's really good for your hair, and pantothenic acid. B vitamins work collectively and individually in every cell to perform lots of different jobs, including helping the body release energy from carbohydrates, proteins, and fats, and they help regulate appetite. Vitamin Bs are also a very important part of your nervous system. So they can regulate your mood and your energy as well. So really want to get your vitamin Bs in. Why do we want them? Well, it's needed to convert carbohydrates into glucose in the body, which leads to energy production. As I said, it's good for your energy and help decrease fatigue and lethargy. It also can help regulate the nervous system, reducing depression, stress, and brain shrinkage. That's really important as we're aging. Also, B vitamins, if your gut isn't right, you're not going to be processing your B vitamins, especially B12. So it helps maintain a healthy digestive system. B12 also protects against heart disease by curbing and improving unhealthy cholesterol levels, protecting against stroke and high blood pressure. It's essential for healthy hair, skin, and nails. It also helps cell production and constant renewal of the skin. So once again, these are all good for your skin. B12 protects against breast, colon, lung, and prostate cancers. So where are you going to find your Bs? You're going to find them in whole grains, green leafy vegetables, yogurt, asparagus, spinach, chicken, turkey, salmon, seafood, other shellfish, liver, by the way. It is a powerhouse pack full of vitamins. There are so many more vitamins in liver than there are in, say, a piece of steak or chicken. Liver is just really, I know most people don't like it, but it really, if you can find a way to make it and like it, have it, because it is coming from a grass-fed cow, of course. It's really just a powerhouse of good vitamins and nutrients. Egg yolks is a good source of Bs. Avocado, legumes, like split peas. So strict vegetarians who aren't getting turkey and salmon and seafood and shellfish and liver and eggs, or heavy drinkers, smokers, pregnant or breastfeeding women, or elderly people should probably take a supplement. So you don't have depression or fatigue. All right, so vitamin C. Vitamin C is, you can't make collagen without vitamin C. So we definitely want to have vitamin C in our system all the time. And vitamin C is a water-soluble vitamin. Like vitamin B, vitamins A, D, E, and K are fat-soluble. Vitamins B and C are water-soluble. And all that means is you take it in and your body uses what it needs and it pees out the rest. A, D, E, and K are stored in our fat. So it stores it and waits till we need it, and then it can use it. So we want to make sure we're getting a lot of vitamin C constantly throughout the day, because as we go through the day, we're going to pee out what we don't need, but 6 hours from now, we're going to need some more. So it's really important that we're eating lots of fruits and vegetables that are high in vitamin C. So again, natural cure for healthy skin. You can't produce collagen without vitamin C. As we all know, we start to come down with something. What do? We pop a vitamin C vitamin. It protects against the ill effects of stress. I said the body does not store vitamin C. I'm a little bit wrong. There's a little bit of vitamin C stored in the adrenals. And when you get stressed and your adrenaline is on point, you're going to use up all your vitamin C. So it's there just in case you need it, but we want to continue to eat our vitamin C throughout the day. It helps with blood flow and circulation, which is probably another reason why it's so good for your skin. Blood flow is how your body, how every cell gets its nutrients and how every cell gets its oxygen. So if your body's getting lots of good nutrients and oxygen, it's going to be a lot healthier. So the blood flow and circulation are primo important. It lowers your risk of heart disease and stroke. It helps reduce arthritis symptoms. And again, vitamin C, as I mentioned, is a powerful antioxidant. It will lend one of its electrons for that free radical that's in there causing damage to the body. So what's high in vitamin C? We all think of an orange, right? But bell peppers, any kind of peppers whatsoever, they're a very good source of vitamin C. Guavas, citrus fruit, as you know, dark leafy greens like kale, romaine, and cabbage. Romaine when I was doing this project, putting all this together, romaine came in as a good source of a lot of the vitamins. If you're going to make a salad, ditch the iceberg lettuce. It has almost no nutritional value other than it's hydrating. But romaine is a really good source of a lot of your good required vitamins. Broccoli is a good source of vitamin C. Kiwis, also high in vitamin C. Strawberries, tomatoes, peas, papaya, green chilies, and jalapeno peppers. Like I said, all peppers. So as you're adding, things to your recipes, throw a handful of chopped bell peppers that you made on meal prep day, that first Sunday of the month, that you have in your freezer. So you're all doing that now, right? All right, we're moving on to vitamin D. Vitamin D's main function is to regulate the absorption of calcium and phosphorus to get it into the bones. We want your calcium in the bones. We don't want just calcium-rich blood. So if you're taking a lot of calcium supplements, but you don't have any vitamin D to go with it, you're just going to have calcium-rich blood. It aids in cell-to-cell communication throughout the body. It also helps maintain healthy body weight and cognitive function. I don't know about you, but I kind of like those ideas. So not a lot of foods are high in vitamin D, but mushrooms is the better sources. So throw those in your salad or top your chicken with it. Just a little bit of butter or ghee, some lemon and some mushrooms. It's delicious. Oysters, fish, eggs are another good source. Fortified dairy products, once you bring those back, you'll usually see added vitamin D. And that's so that the calcium from that cottage cheese or milk or whatever can get into those bones. Your body can also create it when you have exposure to the sun. And by the way, and I learned this when I got my vitamin store, but vitamin D is not a vitamin, actually. Vitamin D is actually a hormone because your body will actually make it, but you do have to have exposure to the sun. And a great way, a great health and wellness practice would be to get first thing in the morning when the sun comes up is sit outside in the sun as early as you can. So you're training your circadian rhythm to, you're getting a little bit of vitamin D, you're putting that sunshine on your skin, which helps with a healthier circadian rhythm. And on the opposite end of that is when you go to bed at night, make sure that room is as dark as humanly possible. Turn off any devices with little on lights or off lights or power lights. cover up the clock if it's lit up, whatever the case, lights out, make that room as black as you can. And if you can do those two things, it really will help with your sleep, which is also part of a healthy lifestyle for anti-aging as well. Uh, all right, so we got vitamin E. Again, a powerful antioxidant. It's fights off those free radicals. It helps reduce cholesterol. It's fabulous for skin protection. Vitamin E is an anti-inflammatory. It's also an immune booster, and it's a hormone regulator. So if we're not eating fats, when we eat fat-soluble vitamins, and E is a fat-soluble vitamin, we're not going to absorb those fats. And so if we're not going to absorb those fats, that can be what's throwing our hormones off. So we want to make sure when we're having any vitamins A, D, E, and K, which is all those fruits and vegetables I just mentioned, you want to have a healthy fat with it. So put your salad dressing on, use your olive oil, throw avocados in there, making sure you're having a fat with your meals. Every meal. Fats also help you reduce cravings because you're absorbing your vitamins rather than, because you don't have a fat, you're not absorbing the vitamins. You're not absorbing the vitamins. A little while later after you eat, I want something. I just, you just want something. You don't even know what it is. You're opening the fridge, you're opening the cabinet. This is why having a healthy fat is extremely important at every meal. So, and olive oil, the first one on the list here, it is a fat. So it's a good source of vitamin E, and it's also a fat. So that's a win-win-win. Olive oil came up a lot, by the way, as one of the higher good choices of the foods for this list today. Broccoli is a good choice. Trout, shrimp, avocado. Avocado is another good healthy fat. Sunflower seeds are a good fat. Nuts like almonds, also a good fat. Cooked spinach, bell peppers, berries, apricots, asparagus, and quinoa. So that's your vitamin E list. So when you're eating those things, understand that's helping regulate your hormones as well as helping with your cholesterol and helping with wonderful skin and anti-inflammatory. All right, so let's dive into some skin hacks. Obviously, we know sun damage is probably one of the worst things we can do. Too much sun. Like I said, get up in the morning when the sun is not as strong. Get 10 minutes of good sun without sunscreen. But sunscreen's a whole nother topic. We talked about label reading several weeks ago, and you look at your ingredients, there's a lot of those sunscreens are toxic. So sun can be your friend. I know if you have a very fair skin and you're prone to skin cancers, you do have to be mindful. Wearing long sleeves and hats is really important, but a little bit of sun is good for us. Smoking, great way. If you want deep, dark, deep wrinkles, light up a cigarette. Sugar adds deeper lines to your face. There's even something called sugar face, where there's certain characteristics of someone who consumes a lot of sugar. Alcohol, I would say likely because alcohol affects the liver, and when our liver is not happy, it shows up on the outside. It shows up, our skin is not vibrant or it's vibrant. If it's not vibrant, you might want to clean up your liver. Also, alcohol is very dehydrating. We want to stay hydrated to keep that healthy skin. Processed foods, deep fried foods, all of those things are just so horrible for the skin, and also stress and other toxins. So what can we do? We can have healthy fats, healthy proteins, foods high in antioxidants, and obviously, as I mentioned, foods high in vitamins A and vitamin C. We now know what those are. Some non-food options, like I said, if you know you're prone, you might want to put on some good clean sunscreen. Hyaluronic acid is something that you can put either directly on your skin or you can take it as a supplement. Hyaluronic acid is a a water-loving molecule. So it draws, so if you put it on your face, it will draw the water to your face. So the wrinkles will lessen, it kind of plumps it up. So that's wonderful. Collagen is a wonderful way to help prevent any skin issues and wrinkles. Collagen is also very, very good for your joints and your connective tissue as well. Like I said, vitamin C and vitamin A, and also exercise. When we sweat, we are releasing toxins. And when we sweat, if we're sweating on our face or on our arms, wherever we sweat, if you can wipe that off sooner than later, that will benefit you, because sweating is a form of detoxification. But if we're sweating out our toxins and it's sitting on our skin, which is our largest organ, it's also very absorbent. It might absorb it back in. So you want to just take a towel, when you go to the gym, grab a gym towel and wipe yourself as you're going, and get that sweat off your body the best you can so you don't reabsorb it. And sugar, where's my thing of that? So advanced glycation end products, also known as AGEs. This is what causes those deeper wrinkles in the face. And I can tell you, client after client, because I Zoom with you guys. So I see you from the beginning and I see you at the end. And those of you who follow along and do your very best and they cut the sugar out, I've seen so many people say, you know, my wrinkles are less. My wrinkles are less. So really, sugar, and watch the theme here, guys. Watch the theme about the sugar. We really do want to avoid sugar. Sugar is the devil. That's what I say, not today, Satan. And there's so many other substitutions that make things sweet that we don't have to actually have sugar. I mean, we can have it on occasion, but certainly not on an everyday basis. Someone in chat says the author of the Galvitanon diet, a great drink for collagen called Skin and Bone. Okay. I have not heard of that. That's interesting. Galveston. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So you guys, I don't know if you guys can see in the chat, but that might be something you might want to look into. And like everything I have said today and every day, please do your own research and your own homework, because not everything I recommend is perfect for everybody. Some of you all have different conditions or different allergies or different food and supplement and herbal reactions. If you know you have certain conditions, you know, do some homework, see if whatever I'm suggesting is right for you. This is all general basic stuff. But if you have a condition, do some research and homework first. I'm just giving you the idea. So if we don't know what we don't know, now you know what you don't know. And now we can look into it and learn and know. There we go. All right, so stuff we can do for our vision. The most common age-related vision impairments, age-related macular degenerations, cataracts, diabetic retinopathy, and glaucoma. Those are the most common. So again, foods rich in vitamin A, dark, green leafy veggies, fish high in omega 3s, which is like salmon and mackerel, wearing protective eye gear, and avoiding sugar. Oh, there's the theme. The sugar can affect your vision as well. Sugar is the enemy. And supplements, astaxanthin and lutein. Now I'll tell you, you can get astaxanthin, you don't have to buy it, you can get it for free right there in your wild caught salmon. What makes that salmon orange is the astaxanthin. So now that this fish, if it's wild, living in the wild, eating what it's supposed to be eating, that's what turns it orange. That's what gives it the astaxanthin. And as we eat it, that's what's going to help improve our vision. The farm raised stuff, it always says colors added. So now you're eating colors, you're eating dyes, and you're not getting the astaxanthin. So even though it's a couple bucks more for the wild caught Get the wild caught because you're going to benefit with the omega-3s and the astaxanthin. All right, so gut, liver, and brain health. So for liver, we want sulfur-rich foods, glutathione producing foods. Let me see if I can find that. So let me see here. So glutathione, it's 3 blocks of protein: cysteine, glutamine, and glycine. And it's the liver's antioxidant. It will clean up the liver. It's amazing. It slows oxidative stress. It can help with type 2 diabetes, Parkinson's, cystic fibrosis, and rheumatoid arthritis. Foods that are high, and that will help produce glutathione. Let me see. Is NAC, then that's a supplement. N-acetylcysteine is what it stands for. Milk thistle, avocados, spinach, asparagus, almonds, green leafies, cruciferous. This all starting to sound familiar. So it's the more veggies that we can consume, the better off our liver is going to be, the better off our eyes are going to be, the better off our skin, our hair, our gut, all of those things. Cruciferous vegetables, which is your broccoli and your cauliflower and your Brussels sprouts and your kale, things like that, cabbage. Turmeric, silymarin, which is another name for milk thistle, grapefruit, strawberries, peaches, zucchinis, alpha lipoic acid, and omega-3. Okay, so for healthy gut, we want to have sauerkraut, fermented foods. Fermented foods are adding B vitamins back in where they would not normally be present. High fiber diet, just eating lots of good fruits and vegetables, like I mentioned. That's the fiber is what feeds the good guys. And the probiotics are the good guys. So you guys are currently taking a probiotic, but we want to feed them with a good prebiotic or high fiber diet. The brain health, again, that's turmeric or curcumin, because that's your anti-inflammatory. Omega-3, fish oils, olive oil, and lion's mane. Lion's mane is one of those superfood mushrooms. And that has really, really been studied and shown that it's good for the brain and prevention of dementia. And if you're studying or learning something, you might want to take a supplement of lion's mane. And it can come many different forms. It comes in a powder, in a capsule. It comes in a lot of different, some of those coffees on the market today. So lion's mane is really good. And here we go again. Avoiding sugar. Sugar is the leading cause of liver disease. How we get fatty liver is not, yes, you can get fatty liver from eating processed deep fried foods like onion rings and deep fried fish and fried things. But sugar turns into the triglycerides and is stored in the liver, which is triglycerides are fat cells. And if they're stored in the liver, now we've got a lot of fat surrounding the liver. When there's a lot of fat surrounding the liver, it makes it harder for the liver to function. And it's also the second phase. First, it's inflammation, but the second phase of on your way to getting cirrhosis is fatty liver. And it doesn't mean you don't have to drink to get fatty liver. And it's called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. So you can certainly get it without 1 drop of alcohol if you're consuming a lot of sugar. It also feeds the bad bacteria in the gut, which also affects the brain. Your gut is your second brain. They're very much connected. When you get a gut feeling because somebody told you something, or somebody tells you something and you feel it in your gut, they're connected. So when one is off, then the other one can be off, which can cause depression or anxiety. A lot of anxiety if the gut is off too. So for a healthy brain, for a healthy gut, for a healthy liver, we are going to avoid the sugar and load up on the curcumin. And if you don't like the taste of it, you can add it to your smoothie, you can cook with it, but you can also take it as a supplement as well. And you want to get the curcumin, which is the part of the turmeric that has the anti-inflammatory response. All right, so tips from the expert again. I enrolled my mother for this piece, but she's busy having a social life out with her gang, so to speak. So I will fill in for her today. So the one thing that she loved, because I just basically interviewed and asked her, like, what would you want me to put on my PowerPoint? And she just loves her like little Fitbit thing. And so she says little things like taking out the trash from the kitchen to the actual trash cans outside. She enjoys doing that now because she's getting credit for her steps. So I think that's really cool. And I have my little watch, which counts my steps too. And so now I love walking to my mailbox. I used to think of it as a pain in the butt, but now it's like, okay, now I want to get my more steps. So using your technology, using your apps, you can also use these things to track your food and track your macronutrients, which I'm going to be discussing next week. So if you don't even know what that is, you will have a very clear understanding of it next week. But that's your fats, your proteins, and your carbohydrates. So you can track your calories. There's so many different apps that can help aid you along the way, so you can kind of see where you are. And what's cool with this too is it makes it more fun. When I kind of try to beat my own record, okay, yesterday I had 8,000 steps. Today I want to get 9,000 steps. And I would never know that without my watch. So last week when we talked about creating good habits, you have to make it fun. You have to make it desirable. You have to make it attractive. And you have to make it easy. And you're not going to walk around and count every step that you take. But if you're using these apps for either food or fitness or whatever, it's going to help you track, and you can really get a clear picture. And it makes it a little bit more fun to want to get out there and move, or get your heart, tracks my heart rate too. So there's all kinds of fun things that you can do with it. So using your technology and your apps. Attitude or positive thinking. I got to tell you, my mom truly is the most optimistic person I've ever met. And I've met a lot of people in my life. I'm very social, but she's truly the most optimistic person. And I will tell you something else. What she does every day, and it's probably more than one time a day. If I'm visiting my mom, or she's here, or I'm at her house or whatever, and you can't find my mom, you go into her room, wherever she's staying, she's writing in her gratitude journal. She's like, you guys, there is so much to that, because the more you do that, it's like lifting a weight. If I lift a bunch of weights and I keep working this muscle is going to get stronger. So the more you write in your gratitude journal, the stronger you will become at noticing all the things that you are grateful for. It forces you to, like, what else can I be grateful for? Well, I opened my eyes today. All right, I'm breathing. Okay, I got up and I was able to walk. Okay, I have some cute clothes to wear. Okay, I have a delicious, healthy breakfast. I mean, just the fact that when you open your eyes, you can see. Start there, start with the little stuff. But this is just, I think, really served her very, very well. She talks a lot about stock. When I was a little kid, like when you cut the grains off the tops of a carrot or beets, or the parts of the peels that you don't use, we typically would throw away. She would make stock with that. So any recipe that would call for water, like a soup or a recipe, she would use the stock instead. So it would have a lot of those nutrients built in. I threw the bone broth up there in addition to that, because it's the same concept. It's the same concept, only it's bones that have been simmering in the water, and all those wonderful, wonderful minerals and certain aminos like glutamine are released into that bone broth. And it actually does have some protein in it, but it is fabulous for your gut. It is fabulous, fabulous for your skin, your hair, your nails. It is fabulous for your immune system. So when you get a chance, if you're looking for a snack, just warm up a cup of bone broth. You can throw some veggies in it. You can do whatever, but just sipping on a cup of bone broth in place of your coffee, maybe in the morning. So that's really a good health tip. For my mother, she says exercise is non-negotiable. I can tell you she goes to her Pilates, I don't know how many times a week. I know she goes to see Nico, her personal trainer, at least 2 times a week. And then she, of course, has her dance class. But she says She does not like to work out in the afternoon. She likes to get it done in the morning. So if she doesn't do it in the morning, she forces herself to have to do it in the afternoon, which she doesn't like, which forces her to get it out of the way and over with and done and crossed off her to-do list. And I gotta say, she's not wrong on that. Exercise is not just, for weight loss, it's to keep your heart and lungs healthy. It's to keep your bones strong and healthy. It's to keep your brain, healthy because you're going to get improved circulation. What is circulation? That's nourishment and oxygen to every single cell. So it's way more than just looking strong or being strong or for weight loss. It's just for overall general health. Meal planning is very important as far as my mom is concerned. And I would say that's true. If I don't meal plan or prep on my Sundays, come Monday through Friday, I don't have any lunch. So that's going to be very painful for me if I don't have any lunch. So I want to make sure I have something that's a protein and veggies, lots of different veggies. Try to mix up your veggies so that you get all the benefits of all the different vitamins and minerals. Whole body vibration plate, I threw that one in there just because it is very good for circulation, as we know. It's also really good for lymphatic drainage. And it's also really good for bone density, increasing your bone density. And you burn extra calories on it. So if you can stand on that thing, that's wonderful. But if you can stand on that thing while you're doing some exercise, stand on there and do some squats, stand on there and do, your some upper body stuff, stand on there and pick one foot up. My chiropractor has me doing that now to work my core. And it's not easy. And I'm not as strong as I thought I was. So it's a good practice for me. I have one here in the house. Someone is saying in the chat, do you have any recommendations for a vibration plate? Amazon has a ton of options. Is there one that's better? I don't, to be honest, got this one from our Dr. Infantino's office. And it's a commercial grade, because people used to come in the office and do whole body vibration, sauna, and oxygen therapy, in addition to going through this program, foods and supplements. But what I would do, because I don't know like a home version, but I would look at their reviews and see if what bad reviews are, if there's any, and why they reviewed it bad. Maybe it's because it worked too well. Maybe they just didn't like the way it felt, or whatever, or broke soon. So I would go to the reviews and see what people are saying on that. Never stop learning, Googling things. And by the way, when I say learning, and I don't think I put it on here, but obviously crossword puzzles, anytime we're using our brain, learning something new, brain is a muscle, so we don't want to let that muscle go soft. So it is very important to learn something new. Try new recipes. It's uncomfortable because it's new, but it makes your brain have to think a little bit. Plus you're serving, that's a twofer. That is a twofer. You're getting a new recipe that's from our book, so it's going to be compliant, and you're working your brain muscle. But when you have to learn something that makes your body do a certain pattern, so when your mind and body have to connect, like learning a dance routine, grapevine right, grapevine left, kickball change, over to the right, learning a new dance and a new routine is very anti-aging, very good for the brain, because the brain not only has to remember the stuff, but it also have to tell the hands to go that way, or the feet to go that way, or whatever. When I was teaching group exercise, I was teaching a Parkinson's group, and this is where they lose control of their muscles. It's very difficult for them. It's really sad to watch. My dad passed from complications of Parkinson's, so I think that's why I did that, because it was just near and dear to my heart, and I wish my dad had that kind of class. But what it was a boxing class, and so I would give them patterns. So it would be like jab, jab, cross, or right, right, left, jab, cross, hook. jab, cross, hook, uppercut. So jab, cross, hook, uppercut, and then do it the other side. Jab, cross, left, right, instead of right, left. And so a lot of times if they were further advanced, they would just look at their gloves and not even know which one was like they couldn't do it. So it was kind of sad, but the more they can practice getting the mind and the body connected with right, right, left, or whatever the case was, jab, jab, cross, it's really good for the brain and very, very good for anti-aging. So learning, but making it mind and body, super, super helpful. And then lastly, taking a walk after your meal. I was listening to a podcast just this morning, and the guy was talking about gut biome and healthy gut. And he said just going for a walk for 15 minutes after a meal actually affects and helps improve the gut biome in the body. Not to mention, it gets your blood circulating. It changes everything in the body. You're getting outside, you're getting fresh air. So if at all possible, going for a 15 walk doesn't have to be strenuous, just walk after a meal for about 15 minutes. All right, so Walt Disney says the way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. That just came with the PowerPoint slide. It was already here, and I thought, well, I'm just going to leave it. Usually I have to erase all the stuff they put on here, but I thought that was good. Just start. You don't have to know it perfect. You don't have to. So many people they're brand new. They don't want to, they want to start the program, but they're afraid to start because not everything's perfect. Just start and you will learn as you go. And as you go, you realize, okay, it's just regular food. We're just eliminating a few things and you just go. So just get started. Okay, so setting your intentions to eat and live as healthy as you can, eating dark green leafies, cruciferous vegetables like broccoli and cauliflower and cabbage, healthy fats, proteins, while including exercise can help you maintain a quality of life. Now you guys all know why we have you eating so many of these things and not eating things like sugar and processed foods. So anybody have any questions or comments or thoughts? Please unmute, and if you can turn your camera on, that's great. If you can't, that's okay. But I think everybody's muted. So if you want to unmute, if you have a question or a comment. By the way, for those of you who showed up late, the online store should be opening tomorrow if you're looking to buy any more or other products. And also we're working on adding a few things to our list. We're working with some other companies, so stay tuned for that. We've got some good things coming down the pike there. Also, a reminder, please turn your journal pages in once a week if you're a coaching client of mine. Every 7 days, just if you started on a Monday, then every Monday's your day. If you started on a Thursday, every Thursday is your day to turn your stuff in. If you forget and a few weeks go by, just send me your most current 7. I don't care what you ate 3 weeks ago. It really at this point doesn't matter. But if I get the 7 most current days, or at least 5 days, I get a good glimpse and picture as to how you're doing or what you're doing. And then, of course, don't forget your check-in sheet, which you can find on the scheduling link. All right, so does anybody have any other questions or thoughts or comments? It doesn't have to do with aging or vegetables or or vitamins. Looks like we got 13 people today. Good turnout. Anybody got any summer plans? Any travel? I'll be talking about travel coming up next week. Is going to be on why diets don't work and what does work, which will also be a deep dive into the macronutrients. So you guys will have a clear understanding of what to do with that information and all of that. Someone says in the chat, again, such great info. Thank you. Going to Boston next week Oops, it went away. Where'd it go? For a wedding. Oh, fun, 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 fun. Well, have a safe and happy trip. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, so next week is diets, the different types of diets, which I think you guys, it will be helpful to know because so many foods are labeled. Oh, it's keto, it's paleo, it's carnivore, it's this, it's that. And I want you to be clear on what all that means. And is that a good choice or not? Because, and there's good and bad sides to all of it, but I will be going over that next week. And then after that, we've got the 3-part series of fitness. And then after that will be the travel. And also, if you guys, when you fill out the weekly check-in sheet, if you think of a topic that you haven't heard me talk about yet that you want, I'm happy to, come up with a new topic. I feel like I repeat myself, but I know you guys are cycling through, and I still need to give you the basics. So if there's a different topic, someone said that teach about parasites. So I threw that in the gut and liver one couple weeks ago. I didn't have that piece in there. So thank you for that suggestion. Going once. I never know how to end this. Like nobody says anything. Going twice, 3 times, and
Tammy,
yes, there we go.
We drink a lot of fluids, the water and the I just finished the cleanse. And what about potassium? Are we drinking a lot of fluids and getting rid of our potassium? Do we need to take extra, or is it in it's in the vitamin that we take?
Yeah, if you're eating your vegetables, if you're eating your minerals, and potassium is a mineral, iron is a mineral, magnesium, calcium, these are all minerals. And so you're going to get your minerals from your vegetables and your fruits. That's where they are. So if you're doing a good job of putting in lots of, anything that comes from the ground should be, these days it's a little bit more depleted. You could supplement with a mineral.
Yeah.
I use the concentrates trace minerals and I put it in my water. And that's a good brand if you wanted to do that. That way you're not taking another pill, because I know you guys are taking a lot of pills. But I would say don't drink more than a gallon of water a day so we don't flush out too much. So you're not wrong. So just stick to that. Whatever half your body weight in ounces up to a gallon. So if your body weight is 300, we don't want you to have 150 ounces. It's too much. A gallon is 128. So stick around 120-ish. That'll be fine. And the reason for that is it clears up the liver, which the liver is, we want to clear that up because the liver is the only organ in the body that helps metabolize fat. So we want to make sure it's happy and healthy and clear. So if we're eating foods that boost glutathione and drinking lots of water, we're in good shape. Now, for those of you who are really struggling with getting your water in and like at the end of the day, you're like, oh man, I can't do this. And I feel like a failure. I feel like I suck at this. I can't do this. I don't want you to end your day with that feeling because that's a lower vibrational feeling. So if you're going to have an herbal tea, or even if you're going to have like a club soda, or if you're going to have your shake, count the water that you put in your shake at first. I do want you to get clear, clean water, but at least at the end of the day, you can go, yeah, if you count my tea and my shake, I drank all my 120 ounces of water or whatever your number is.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining today. I appreciate your participation. And those of you with your cameras on, I love to see your smiling faces. That's so nice. But I will see you guys all next time. Bye for now.